Welcome to Speak English Podcast with your host, Arif Hassan, the podcast that will help you to speak English fluently with no grammar and no textbooks.
Hi everyone, good morning, afternoon, evening. I'm Arif Hassan. My mission is to help you speak English fluently and confidently. In this episode, I'll talk about why is American accent so different from the British accent. After that, I'll use the question and answer technique for helping you develop your speaking skills. Let's get started. In the 18th century, American and British pronunciations were pretty similar. Remember that the British Empire colonized America. Many immigrants traveled to America to start a new life. So, a fair question is, why is American and British pronunciation so different nowadays? Well, there are many theories, but here's a reasonable one. It is the standard British accent that has radically changed in the past 2 centuries. However, the American accent has remained almost identical. So what happened? A little bit of history can help us. At the time, the British accent started to change. The Industrial Revolution started. That means that many families become wealthy in a short period. The upper class society didn't welcome those families despite the fact they had a lot of money. Therefore, the new rich families tried to distinguish themselves from the other lower classes. One way to achieve that was to change the way they spoke. They tried to sound more sophisticated, more elegant. So, new tutors and experts on pronunciation offered their service to the new rich people. New guidelines and pronunciation dictionaries were written. This new way of speaking became standardized. It is called received pronunciation. And it was spread across the country. More and more people wanted to sound more elegant, not like the low class. It was a fashion that became very popular. What's funny about this? How the accents are present in historical movies. For example, the American War of Independence shows British soldiers talking with a refined current British accent, like if they were on the BBC, and American soldiers with the standard American accent. Now, you know that's not very accurate. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Here I'll use the question and answer technique. This is the perfect lesson for optimizing your spoken English. Let's see how it works. I'll give you some information, a phrase or two. I'll ask a simple question. After each question, there will be some seconds of silence. It's your turn to answer the question. Just try to give an easy and short answer, not a complex one. After you answer, I'll give you a correct answer. This process will continue. And little by little, I'll be telling a story using question and answers. Okay, let's get started. The Parker family owned a big factory in Liverpool. Did the Parker family own a small factory? No, they didn't. They didn't own a small factory. They owned a big factory. Did the Parker family own a big restaurant? No, neither. They didn't own a big restaurant, but a big factory. Was the factory big or small? Big. The factory was big. Where was the factory? In Manchester? No, not in Manchester. The factory was not in Manchester, but in Liverpool. What did the Parker family own? A big factory. They owned a big factory in Liverpool. More than 1,000 people work in Parker's factory? Did only 500 people work in the factory? No, more than 1,000 people work in the factory. Did less than 1,000 people work in the Parker's factory? No, that's not true. More than 1,000 people worked there. Where did the people work? In a factory. They worked in Parker's factory. How many people work in Parker's factory? More than 1,000 people. More than 1,000 workers work in Parker's factory. Whose factory? Parker's factory. All the factory machines were steam powered. Were the factory machines electricity powered? No, they weren't electricity powered. They were steam powered. In the factory, were there just a few machines steam powered? No. In the factory, all the machines were steam powered. What element did they use? Steam, oil, water. They used steam. They used steam to power the machines. What were all those steam-powered machines? In the factory, in Parker's factory. They were in Parker's factory. All three children of the family took pronunciation classes. Did the three children buy a book about pronunciation? No, they didn't buy a book about pronunciation. They took pronunciation classes. Did they took French classes? No, neither. They didn't take French classes. They took pronunciation classes. How many children took pronunciation classes? 3. All three children took pronunciation classes. What did they take? Pronunciation classes. They took pronunciation classes. The children sounded more refined and sophisticated than their parents. Did the children sound refined? Yes, they sounded refined. Did the children sound sophisticated? Yes, they sounded sophisticated too. Did the children sound as sophisticated as their parents? No, the children didn't sound as sophisticated as their parents. They sounded more sophisticated. Did the parents sound more elegant than their children? No, they sounded more elegant but less than their children. Why the children sound more refined and sophisticated than their parents? Because they took pronunciation classes. The reason they sounded more sophisticated is because they took pronunciation classes. As you can see, we are answering easy question all the time. They are easy on purpose. And this technique helps you develop your speaking skill. It is like practicing with another person. This is one of the techniques that can help you to improve your speaking. This is the end of this episode. Remember to listen to the several times. It will help you with your English. Okay, this is the end of the second episode. Have an awesome day and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now below.